Your Sarasota market update for March. Luxury first, then the hidden opportunities of the $1 million price range. If you're watching the Sarasota real estate market right now and trying to figure out what's happening, especially in the luxury space over $1 million, there's one thing you need to understand before anything else. This market is not slowing down. It's separating. And that separation is happening fast. What we're seeing right now in Sarasota real estate over 1 million is a very clear divide between properties and when they're positioned correctly for selling, and the properties that are sitting, getting price reductions and they're missing the market entirely. And the difference between these two is not luck, it's strategy. Now, before we go deeper into that, let's anchor this in what the numbers are actually telling us, because this is where most people get misled. They either rely too much on the headlines or too much on the opinions, and they miss what the data is clearly showing. If we look back at 2025, the Sarasota real estate market went through what we call a recalibration phase. Demand didn't disappear, but pricing adjusted, inventory expanded, and buyers became more cautious. And you can see that directly in that data. Looking at single-family homes in March of 2026, the average list price is sitting around 1.56, with a median active price around 134,500, the broad mix. Now compared to March of 2025, where the median sold price sat for closer to 660,000 overall, that tells you something very important. Luxury demand didn't disappear, expectations changed. And this is where most people misunderstand luxury. Luxury buyers didn't go away. They did become more selective, more analytical, and more patient though. So there's no longer, they're chasing the market. They're evaluating the market. Now let's stay on this single family homes over $1 million for a minute, because this still is the strongest segment in the Sarasota luxury market. What we're seeing right now is that homes that are updated, well presented, and priced correctly are still selling within reasonable time frames. But the margins for error here have completely disappeared. There used to be room to test the market. There used to be room to price aggressively. That room is gone. Today is you miss pricing by 5%, you don't just get fewer showings, you get ignored. And once a home is ignored, it doesn't just sit. It starts chasing the market down, that race to the bottom. Now, as we transition into the condo market over $1 million, this is where we're seeing one of the biggest shifts in the entire Sarasota real estate landscape. In March of 2026, condo inventory and pricing showed that the average active price is just over $1,058,000, with a median sold price of about $497,500 across mixed abroad. March of 2025, condos sold for much closer to $325,000. That's a shift in a short period of time. But here's the part that most people miss. Luxury condos are not just buying square footage. Buyers aren't. They're buying lifestyle. They're comparing walkability, downtown Sarasota, waterfront bay views, amenities like concierge, pools, fitness centers, the overall experience of the building. And because of that, this has become a selection-based market. If a condo doesn't check those boxes, it sits. It's just reality, even if it has the greatest view. Now, as we move into the townhouses, this is where the luxury conversation starts to transition into the broader market, because even at the high end, townhomes are topping out around $985,000 in closed sales, which means they're acting as a bridge. Buyers who were once shopping townhouses are now stretching into entry-level luxury single-family homes or higher-end condos, and that movement is reinforcing demand above $1 million. Now, when you step back and look at the entire luxury market in Sarasota right now, what becomes very clear is this. There are two markets. There is the market for homes that are priced correctly, updated, move-in ready, positioned well against the competition, and those homes are selling. Then there is the market of the homes that are overpriced, dated, or not positioned correctly. Those homes are sitting. And this is why so many people are confused right now, because they see one home sell quickly and another sit for months and months and months. And they assume the market is inconsistent. It's not inconsistent, it's precise. Now, Here's where this gets really interesting because everything we just talked about in the luxury market is directly impacting what's happening under $1 million. And this is where the biggest opportunity in Sarasota real estate is actually showing up right now. If you're looking at Sarasota real estate under 1 million and thinking this market is slowing down, you're missing what's actually happening. Okay. This market is not slowing down. It's stabilizing. And that stabilization is creating opportunity. Now, before we jump into the numbers, we need to go back to behavior again, because this is what's driving everything. Buyers today under 1 million are more cautious, more price sensitive, more focused on long-term value. They are not chasing homes. They are comparing them. Now, let's look at the data. For single-family homes in March of 2026, median sold price was $610,000. Average sold price, $926,000. Days to contract, 42. Sold to list ratio, 97%. Now compare that to 2025, median sold price was about $660. Okay, days to contract, 32 days. So a lot faster. So yes, prices adjusted slightly, and yes, timelines stretched, but homes are still selling at 97% of asking price. That tells you the market is still strong. What changed is not demand. What changed is behavior. Back in the peak market, the advantage went to speed. Today, the advantage goes to accuracy. Okay, you see that dichotomy? Now, if you're a buyer, this one is one of the most favorable environments we've seen in years here in the Sarasota real estate market, because you have more inventory, more time, more negotiating power, less competition. Now, as we move into condos under $1 million, this is where the shift becomes even more visible. In March of 2026, median sold price was $497,500. Days to contract was 52, compared to March of 2025, with the median price sold at $325. Days to contract, 45 days. What we're seeing here is a market that has expanded in inventory and slowed in decision making. Buyers are taking their time. They're evaluating more options, and that creates leverage. And finally, as we look at townhomes under $1 million, of course, median sold price, $339,900. Days to contract, 46 days. This is your entry-level market, and this is where opportunity is created first, because hesitation at this level creates negotiations. Now, when you step back and look at the entire Sarasota real estate market in March of 2026, what becomes very clear is this is not a market that is crashing. This is not a market that is booming. This is a market that is recalibrating. And recalibration is where opportunities live, okay? Because when markets reset, they create space. And that space is where buyers gain leverage. Sellers who are strategic win. And investors, they're finding opportunities. So if you're trying to figure out whether now is the right time to buy or sell in Sarasota, the better question is not where the market is going. The better question is, what position are you in right now? Because this market is no longer emotional. It's strategic. And the people who understand that are the ones who win.